Back in Philadelphia again. Can't stay away from this town. This is train 141 getting ready to depart 30th Street for DC with one of the last ACS64s pulling the train, number 669. Noisy departure. I love those engines. His next stop will be the Joseph R. Biden Transportation Center in Wilmington, Delaware. And as I stepped off the train, here comes a train from Mawr with one of the ACS64s. Off the train at Bryn behind this ACS64. Here he goes. This is Bryn Station, one of the many nice towns on the old Pennsylvania Railroad main line. Main line is actually the name of the community. All the communities out here are called the main line communities. Bryn is one of the nicer towns. Of course, there are many nice towns along this main line. Main line was famous for the Paoli local. Used to run trains every half hour to Paoli, where they used to have a yard, a shop, and I think they still have an active control tower. As that train from Malvern leaves with the Septa ACS64, here comes an Amtrak ACS64 on train 647 en route from New York to Harrisburg. His next stop will be Paoli. That's the Keystone service train. We'll hang out here for a few hours and get some commuter and Amtrak action. Bryn is another one of those towns that have a Welsh name. No shortage of them in the Philadelphia suburbs. The main line district, served by Septa Regional Rail out towards Paoli, Malvern, and all the way out to Thorndale. A lot of the stations east of Paoli are very stylish, very old, looking good, but this one isn't one of them. This station was built in 1963 to replace the station that was demolished that year. The original station was built in 1869. Lots of nice communities along the main line district west of Philadelphia. This is on the main line between Philadelphia and Harrisburg and beyond. If you own a home on the main line district, you have arrived. You're one of the Philadelphia elite. Nice shops in this area. Just about any town between Overbrook, just over the Philadelphia city limits, and Paoli, you'll find some elegant eateries. See this old, rather decrepit looking fortress? This is Bryn Mawr Tower. It was built in 1895 and it caught fire in 1994 and it was subsequently closed. Ever since, its operations transferred to Paoli Tower. And a nice old-fashioned signal gantry here with a position light with cadmium yellow bulbs on it. See the signals guard in the interlocking here at Bryn Mawr. We're looking west and looking east. It's interesting here, the gradient, the tracks from Philadelphia sort of come out of a hole. When trains approach from Philadelphia, they seem to climb out of a hole in the ground. This is an apex of a significant grade. In fact, back in Pensy days, they used to run pushers on freight trains out of 52nd Street Yard in Philadelphia. Used to reach the peak here, but they keep the pushers on all the way to Paoli, and they do the reverse on eastbound trains. It's a Philadelphia-bound train with GE Silverliner 4s. Yawn, 4:18 p.m. His next stop is Haverford. The Silverliner 4s on Septa, built by GE, look very much like the Arrow MUs of New Jersey Transit, also built by GE, but I find the Arrow MUs much more appealing. They have the center door, which kind of gives it a little more personality in the integrity of the car body, and they have those nice, neat Wabco AA2 horns, whereas these have a rather mundane and austere S2M horn. Here we have a westbound train of Silverliner 4s, heading for Paoli at least, maybe beyond the Malvern or Thorndale. These cars have been around a long time, since the 70s. There are cars that operate singly with cabs at both ends. There are cars that have married pairs. Looks like this is a set of two married pairs. They're probably some of the most uninspiring ancient equipment you'll see on any railroad. You see a substation here at Bryn Mawr. You'll notice the catenary construction is, compared to other parts of the Pennsylvania Railroad electrification, is rather primitive. Not like the rest of the Pennsylvania Railroad, like New York to Washington and out to Harrisburg, which had the high towers with the many number of insulators. This is from Philadelphia to Paoli, this was the first electrification project on the Pennsylvania Railroad. It was completed in 1915. Electrification was extended beyond Paoli to Harrisburg in 1938. Yeah, here comes a westbound from Malvern. You see he's climbing out of what looks like a hole in the ground, but it's another push-pull. Train 9551 to Malvern. It's got another one of those ACS64s on the point. On the Pennsy side of the Septa regional rail system, the electric engines are on the front. On the Reading side, they're on the rear. New York train. We had another ACS64 session between Septa and Amtrak. Those things take off pretty fast. And that Amtrak that passed by from Harrisburg to New York was train 652. Well, we got a Thorndale train at 450. I must be a masochist. I keep taking videos of these cars. You can tell I'm not a big fan. Well, they are ancient, so I know they want to replace those cars with double-deckers. They want to have more push-pull consists than the Silverliner 5 fleet, which is 120 cars. They only have a small fleet running these days, but it seems like they're running a couple of extra sets today on a couple of other lines. So maybe they'll start gradually putting their entire fleet into service as the pandemic, the pandemic wanes. .456, we have a West Trenton bound train with Silverliner 4s. I don't know, if those cars had a center door in them, they look a hell of a lot better. 14, we have a westbound train from Malvern with the Silverliner 5s. Love those cars. Yeah, those things really take off. They can accelerate at a rate of 3 miles per hour per second. What's not to like about them? They're colorful, they have power, they have nice K3LA horns, you got the Railfanning window. Wonderful cars. At 549, here comes a Septa local with Silverliner 4s heading west. Amtrak 651 from New York to Harrisburg is due around now too. And you got a train for Philly due, a Septa train. So it could get kind of busy in the next couple of minutes. Down the position light. Here comes train 651 to Harrisburg now at 5:55. Cab car first. Switching over. He's going to run around the local that just left a little while ago. At 5:58, we have train 5344, a local for Philly. He stopped at the signal just west of the interlocking. He's been sitting there for a couple of minutes. Wonder how many ghosts are in that tower. That's what I thought. He's waiting for 6:54, the Amtrak train, to run around him. Runs from Harrisburg to New York. He'll be switching from track 2 to 1 here. As soon as he clears, the local should come in. Here he comes. It's about 11 minutes late. The next train is into Philadelphia is not for another 50 minutes. Should see a couple of outbound Silverliner 5s though. Yeah, this area still has a nice railroad look about it. Okay, time is 6:20. We got a Silverliner 5 heading for Malvern. Train 3544. Zipping right out of here. Should have another Silverliner 5 set in a few minutes. Yeah, the Silverliner 5s today have been circulating. There were a couple on the Trenton run, Trenton Chestnut Hill East run. There were a whole bunch of them on the West Trenton line. And then they seem to now be shifting over to this line. There was one a little while ago from Media to Norristown. I'd love to get that run. That's two lines I haven't explored. I'll have to do that the next time I'm here. It is my objective to do head-end rides on the Silverliner 5s on all of the regional rail lines. On the Pennsy side, I've done the Trenton line, I've done the Newark, Delaware line, I've done the Chestnut Hill West line. I did a run to Paoli, but the window was filthy and the sun was shining through it, and I wasn't happy with it, so I'd like to do that over again, but extend it out to the end at Thorndale. So that would leave the airport line and the Media Elwyn line on the Pennsy side that I need to do. The Sinwood service is suspended, so I can't do that. On the Reading side, I've done the West Trenton line, the Warminster line, and the Doylestown line. So that leaves the Norristown line, the Chestnut Hill East line, and the Fox Chase line. And then I'll be done. Here comes another Silverliner at 6:37. He's headed for Malvern. They're pretty close together, those two Silverliner 5s. No mistaking those brakes. They're noisy. About the only downside of the Silverliner 5 compared to the Silverliner 4, although not everyone will agree with that statement. Some of these cars have advertising on them. Well, I'm walking down the platform at 30th Street, getting ready to catch train 138 back to New York. Leaves at 8:01. Should have train 137 coming in over there in a couple of minutes. As usual, I had a great time in the Philadelphia area, getting some head-end rides and doing a little train watching, Bryn Mawr. It's a great city for trains, all kinds of trains. Amtrak trains, commuter trains, trolley cars, subways. I've been coming down here for over 50 years and it never gets old. 55, right on time. Here comes train 137, New York to Washington. Mistaking those Amfleet brakes. 138 to New York should be coming in within the next minute or two. Here he comes, a few minutes early. 669 again. I had him coming down.